Hello everyone, I'm Fiona. I'm coming to you from Wood. So if we get a little pixelated, I'm sorry, it's a long way. It's also just coming into Balinese New Year, and they do it in a really beautiful way. They don't speak. They have pretty much, I think it's 12 hours from sunrise to sunset of complete silence. And during that time, no fires, no work, no communication. It's all very serene. Maybe that's how we should be bringing in our new year. Okay, so I asked you whether you're willing to try a different view of health on. And so what we're going to look at today is this. Imagining the skin of the body being your wetsuit, and within which a lot of the fascia is contained. Tips of your fingers. Oh, I sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry, bless me. And again. Okay, to the tips of my fingers, to the tips of my toes, tops of my head. Now within that, we've got a living, vibrating, alive structure. And this structure on one level is as tough as iron, and on another moves like water. We believed that the bones held up the body. But when we look at it logically, we discover that there's only 3 bones in the body that actually touch. And the rest of them are actually floating within this fascia structure. So the fascia holds up the body, it's a structure. We have believed that the muscles control movement. But if the muscles controlled movement, we would only be able to move in certain robotic sort of ways. And again, there's an intelligence in the fascia that controls the movement. The fascia has an intelligence that responds quicker than the brain. Consequently, if you step on something hot, you don't have a reflex jumping straight up and down onto the heat again. You have an intelligent response that takes you out of the way, often before the brain realizes what has happened. So we have something going on that's different from the way science and medicine has looked at it. It's divided into 3 sections. So our lower section, our middle section, and our upper section. And movement and response happens due to pressure. So it's like a hose, and you turn the water on and the hose expands, and you turn the water off and it drops away again. Well, the body spirals. That's actually how it moves. So when we walk, it's a crossover sort of motion. And everything to do with healing and release has got this spiraling action. And we have certain limitations if we can't get out of our chair, so it makes it even more important that we find ways to move and flush the body, not yet just to feel good, but to consciously improve our health. But there's not just a nutritional component, which is important. There's not just a hydration component, which is probably the most important. Movement is what heals the body. But the most important component is your belief and your intention. So if you believe that the day is crap and you're not going to get better, that's what you're flooding your body with. We need to change the tape. We need to change the dialogue within. Okay, so let's just start with, if I was standing, it would be easier to feel this, but I'm going to take my right foot across my left. And I will take my right arm under my left arm. I'll take my left arm across and I give myself a hug. In this position, I want to do my very best to pull up through the pelvic floor. So I pull up through those key muscles, so pull up, and I pull my belly back to the spine, and I create quite a strong girdle. Now, reality is you might lose it and then switch it on again, lose it and switch it on. But basically by doing that, you are holding the internal organs and your spine strong. So the fascia has something to wrap around as we wring the body out. So switch on that core, do your very best to hold it. I will remind you every so often. I still lose it. I'm not as strong there as I'd like to be, but I will get that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, turn my head to the left, and from there, turn my body to the right. Now, I've pulled up through the core, and I'm winding in two directions at once. Now, you don't have to hurt yourself, but what you do have to do is stay tall, pull up through the core, and begin to breathe. So I'm breathing in through my nose and out through my nose. Breathing in and out. Now keep going, and you just might notice on each exhale, maybe you can wind a little bit further without torturing yourself. And again, keep seeing if you can keep that core on. And again, so that's 6 breaths. Now, I'd like you to take a breath in and take more. Do it through your mouth and take more. Hold, wind further, letting the breath out. Do it again. Breath in and more and more and breath out. Breath in and more and more and breath out. One more. Good. Now, put your gaze on something. All right, so I'm looking out there at a tree, and I'm going to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. So as I inhale through the nose, I feel my upper body expand more. And as I exhale through the mouth, I'm exhaling through the whole. Try and keep your spine tall. Try and keep your core on. If it goes off, and switch it on again. And again. And one more. Now don't move quickly. You got to move slowly. So you move really, really slowly, because if you move quickly, what happens is your body says, whoops, something bad's happening. It goes into a fight and flight response and holds tight. That's not what we're looking for here. Now we've gone completely the other way, but I'll loosen it a little bit, turn my head to the right, my body to the left, pull up through my core. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. In through the nose and out through the nose. In through the nose and out. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. Now we do the sipping breath. They call it stage. And again, and more. Hold, spiral a bit further, breath out. And again. Breath out. And again. Breath out. Good. Now we're going to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 3 more. One more time. Now what I want you to try and do, see if you can lean down and spiral a bit further. Just to the best of your ability. Inhale through the mouth, exhale through the mouth. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Now slow. Come back to center. Undo your legs. Now, if you are able to walk, this would be a good time to walk and do figure eights, right? So just walking around in figure eights. If you feel like you can't do that, let's just circle in our chair, feeling into our body, changing direction. Good. And as we come to stillness, and I'm asking you now to notice one side of the body compared to the other, notice if anything shifts. I'll just explain that in this particular premise of how disease begins, it's not a genetic belief, and it's not coming from nutrition or anything. It starts with emotion, unprocessed emotion. And each emotion corresponds to an organ, to a part of the body. And if it continues not to be processed, what happens is deficiency happens because it can't accept and bring in things, and excessive happens because things aren't moving properly, and so on and so forth. So it progresses from an emotional response or unprocessed emotion through to disease, and it continues. Okay, let's do the other side. So we're taking our left foot across, and we take our left hand under the arm. We take our right hand to the shoulder. We turn our head to the right as we turn the center to the left. So as you can feel that what you're doing is the bottom is going in one direction, the center in the other, the head in the same as the leg section. We pull up through the core, pulling up through your pelvic floor, pulling your belly back to the spine, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Okay. So now we're going to do those stage breaths, sipping. Exhale. So breathe in more, breathe in more, and breath out. And you do 1 more of these. Breathe in more, breathe in more, and breath out. Good. Now, breathing in through the nose, breath out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose, breath out through the mouth. Breathe in through the nose, breath out through the mouth. And again. And again. Every so often on the breath out, you can wind a bit further perhaps. Keep pulling that core in and up. And again. Now slowly, slowly, slowly bring yourself back to center. Turn your head to the left as you spiral your center to the right. Switch on your core. Again, pull up through the pelvic floor and your waist. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhaling and exhaling. And again, and exhaling. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Now the sipping breath. Switch on your core again if you haven't got it on. Pulling yourself up tall. Stage breath. And more. And more. Exhaling. And more. And more. And more. Exhale. And more. And more. And more. Exhale. Okay, inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. And exhale. 4 more. Pull on your core. One more time. Good. Okay, this time we're going to lean over. It may not be far. To the best of your ability, put your head in a position that's wound around towards the left, but is not straining. So you might tuck your chin a little bit. And we are inhaling through the mouth and exhaling through the mouth. So we're going into an embryo position. One more time. Good. Slowly. Up. Slowly. Let go. Undo. If walking is something that's available to you, meander in a figure 8. If you're still in your chair, just moving. Noticing how you are now compared to how you were before we started. Good. Let it go. Notice how it feels. So some of the exercises are in the 3 parts. Then there's others that are kind of, we're working on a particular section. So let's go for the vagus nerve. When we impact the vagus nerve, what we're doing is it goes right through the body, and we're impacting it in one position and hopefully undoing it in others. Just notice what goes on. In every one, if we can, we switch our core on again. Now, because we want to get as much out of this as possible, we come to the edge of our chair, cross the ankle over again. Let's start with the right across. And what I want to do is I want to take my left hand to my trapezius muscle there, press down, doesn't have to be hard, and press out. So I'm pressing down and pushing out. Okay, so I create a bit of a torque. And then, so that's a position like this. Then I take my chin across to the left and slightly up, and I stretch between my hands. Now switch on your core, pull up through the pelvic floor, put on your girdle, and begin to breathe. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Keep going. Keep pressing out with that left hand down and up. Keep pressing out and slightly up with the right. And again. One more. Now let's do the stage breath. Exhale. Do it again. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Good. Okay, let's come out slowly. Let's undo your feet. Feel that side of the body compared to the other. Your internal sense, feeling of comfort and discomfort, and see if you can notice even more subtle things like how much density feels like you have, how much space you take up, the sense of aliveness from one side to the other. Let's do the other side. So I'm going to cross over with my left leg. I'm going to take my right hand across and press into this muscle at the top there, press into it, push out. So that's the motion, just pressing in and pushing out. It doesn't have to be hard work. It doesn't have to create pain. Think of your hands like electrical cords, and you are making connections. Let's take our hand to the jaw, turn around to the right and let it go up a little bit and press in that direction. Now, switching on your pelvic floor, pull it up, pull the belly in, and breathe it in through your nose and out through your nose. Breath in and breath out. Breath in. If you can put your core on, if it keeps dropping out, and breath out. And again. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Now, our stage breath, let's sip it. And more. And more. And exhale slow. And again. And more. And more. Exhale slow. One more time. And more. And more. And more. Exhaling. Undo slowly. Keep your mind inside, observing. Notice how it feels inside your body right now. Let's take our hands down and find the pubic bone, so above the pubic bone. So when you press into that, if you lean over, you'll really be able to press into it more, yeah? So what I want to do is I'm going to leave my right hand there as I come more upright and then pull the flesh up towards my belly button. Again, it doesn't have to be hard work. There's the touch. You can put a little bit of strength into it if it feels good, but the intention is not to hurt yourself. Take your other hand behind. So it's like you've just switched on the power. And this is the bladder we're breathing into now. So we're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And again. And again. Two more. One. See if you can switch your pelvic floor on if you didn't already have it on. Try and maintain it. Now, stage breath. Exhale. Do it again. Exhale. One more group. Exhale. So hold there. Now the bladder holds your fear. So I want you to speak directly to your bladder, to the connection to your right hand where it's connected to your bladder, and say thank you. Thank you for holding the fear for me. But I don't need it anymore. I'm letting it go now. Letting it go. Let both hands go. Take a moment to notice how you feel through your body. What's going on right there where you are. Let's also go to the organ that holds belief. This is your stomach. So maybe when we have issues with our stomach, we're struggling with what we believe. I don't know, but feeling to you. So I'm going to take my right hand under the left rib and I'm going to press in there. And then what I want to do is I want to turn it until pull the energy just slightly down or the skin slightly down towards the belly button on that angle and turn my thumb up. And then take my other hand behind my neck there. Oh, and here we go. I'm inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And again. Two more. One more time. Good. Stage breath. So switch on your core. Inhale. More. More. Exhale. Do it again. More. More. Exhale. Do it again. Exhale. I'm going to say thank you, stomach. Thank you, stomach, for dealing with my beliefs. And I'm going to now trust myself and my intuition. And thank you for your support. I'm going to let go of all the holding there now. The next breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling. And again, exhale through the mouth. And again. And again. One more time. Good. And I'm going to undo. Let the pelvic floor go if you're holding it. For me, the hardest thing to hold is the pelvic floor. So yeah, switch it on and then it disappears when I'm focused on something else, but I just switch it on again. I guess on a level it's just a muscle and I'm putting my brain and my muscle memory in there. Now you may have other parts that switch on and off. With a little bit of time, a little bit of practice, you will get stronger. You will get more aware. You'll be able to put your mind in all sorts of different places at one time. Let us do something that appears just to be the elbow, but it's going to be this whole of your upper body. So I'm going to take my right hand to my shoulder, or behind my neck is probably better, and I'm going to take my left hand to my elbow. I'm going to take that flesh and turn it down and out on the bone, turn it down and out. So I'm holding that as I take it up. And now I'm going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Okay, so let's keep that elbow turning round as I move. Switch on your core if you can. Pulling up through the pelvic floor. And see how large you can make those circles comfortably. And then maybe we can take it up further, taking a breath in. Keep the elbow flesh turned out, over. Inhale up, exhale over. Inhale up, don't have to go far, exhale over. Inhale up, exhale over. One more time. Good, undo. Let it go. And let's feel that side of the body. What's going on? How does it feel compared to the other side? Are you ready to try this? So I'm going to take the hand to the elbow. I'm going to hold on at the elbow. I'm going to turn that flesh towards me and out. So I'm rotating on the joint towards me and out, and I'm holding that. So I'm twisting the fascia. Now what that means is when I hold it in position, all of the fascia above and below it has to reorganize itself. And so when I let go, it aligns differently. What does that feel like for you? So here we go, we're moving, inhaling through the nose and exhale. And my hand just on my shoulder there, got a bit uncomfortable, so I just took it behind my neck. Keep that wind on, keep on switching on the core, changing direction, but keep holding on to the elbow, turning the flesh out. Good, taking it up, exhale over, inhale up. One more time. Let that go. Undo, undo completely. Feel into your body now. Notice how you feel. So as I check in with myself now, I feel like I've got more aliveness in my upper body. Of course, there's more of a sense of freedom in my lower body, but it would feel nice to stretch out a bit. So I'm going to hold on to my knee and let my knee get heavy. It's going in that direction. My arms drawing in. Just a little bit of weight bearing, not much. All I want to do is switch on. Nice, big breathing. Remember I told you the other day that 75% of your lung is below the diaphragm. Therefore, when you're sitting, it is harder to access. Therefore, you will have less oxygen unless we really consciously are breathing into the belly. flooding as much of our torso with breath and movement as possible. Take it down, notice what it feels like, and let's do the other side. Up we come. Let the leg be heavy, drawing in and out. Circling. Changing direction. Good, let it go. How do you feel? Where do you feel? What's going on where you are in your body, in your mind? If I was to ask you to have one word for the emotion you're feeling right now, what would that be? Okay, let's just sit back and check in. We're just checking in and noticing. So we're using the sense of being internal, the feeling sense, feeling the breath flowing in and out through your nose, observing the breath expanding in your shoulders, in your collarbones, and you find the breath in the base of your ribcage. And you find the breath in your lower belly, in your pelvic floor. Can we get more subtle and take our awareness to our thighs and notice our thighs as we breathe? And our knees. And our toes. And as you drop down into peace, memorize the feeling tone of aliveness and spaciousness through your body. Memorize the feeling tone in such a way that you can come back to this way of being a little easier next time, and perhaps allow yourself to drop in deeper and create more space in your body. So let's continue this healing journey. It's a journey of awareness, movement, breath, nutrition, intention, and awareness. And I'll be here Tuesday and Friday next week at the same time. If you want to stay on and chat, I'm here too. Much love.